Stronger than heroin, and by a lot. Doctors say fentanyl is a dangerous opioid used for pain medication or in a patch for cancer patients. But now more than ever, experts say people are dying of overdoses. Deaths are increasing in the Northeast and in the Midwest, and the drug is already here on our streets, and it is killing. KXAN investigator Arzo Dos discovered despite concerns and warnings from the DEA, even the state isn't tracking this problem.
Well, Shannon, and the problem is that there is no oversight when it comes to tracking fentanyl-related overdoses or deaths. Now, we pieced together numbers from the Travis County Medical Examiner, Austin Travis County EMS, and even Area Poison Control to get a better idea of the size of this problem in Central Texas. But we learned the true impact from parents who are burying their children because of this drug. Every few days.
Okay, you carry the bubbles and you carry the flowers to Cash, okay?
JC Planta and her twin girls make a special trip to Remembrance Gardens. It's a familiar path.
You wanna come and say hi?
Leading them to a special place that's sometimes hard to face.
Cash Heaven.
It's where big brother Cash Owen is remembered. He's been gone exactly 56 days.
I just had to make the decision to remove him from life support. And if he could breathe on his own, then we would go from there and figure out what next.
His mom says the former Westlake High student overdosed from heroin laced with the powerful drug fentanyl. He was rushed to the hospital and in a coma for days. Just hours after that decision, Cash died. He was 22 years old.
And I wasn't mad at him. I was just sad that I had to let him go. And it's been horrible. The girls miss him. I miss him.
The DEA has dubbed fentanyl an emerging threat and says the drug is so dangerous, even small amounts can kill. The agency says fentanyl is 60 times stronger than heroin, 100 times stronger than morphine. Agents say the latest trend is that it's pressed into pills and sold as prescription painkillers. They say they've had to be aggressive, busting operation after another around the state. Last October, agents suited up in hazmat suits for this raid in Lubbock. You see the gear they have to wear? It's to keep them from touching or even inhaling small amounts of the drug. According to the DEA, fentanyl-related deaths nationwide are up from previous years. Agents say just last year, it spiked 73%.
Our worry with fentanyl is that on the illicit use end is that it's much more potent.
Dr. Ryan Morsey is a toxicologist with the Central Texas Poison Center.
Central Texas Poison Center, Helene.
He says the drug hits the respiratory system hard, and users start breathing slower and slower, and within seconds can stop breathing altogether. Dr. Morsey says the Poison Center only gets a snapshot of the impact. In the last 5 years, the center has received 378 fentanyl-related calls, and those calls are mainly prescription overdoses.
We only have those data if we're notified by someone at home or usually a hospital in the case of fentanyl.
Tracking fentanyl's impact here is pretty much non-existent. Austin Travis County EMS keeps numbers, but only when paramedics respond to a call. They've treated 140 fentanyl cases in the last 5 years.
This is killing people at a rate of which we've never seen any drug in the history of the United States kill.
Mark Kinsley is the co-founder of Texas Overdose Naloxone Initiative. He's in the neighborhoods every day, spreading word of the dangers of fentanyl.
This single dose vial of naloxone is what saves people's lives.
He's saved dozens of overdose victims with this drug, but many more are silently slipping away.
It is a perfect storm, and I'll tell you, any time that you look at any epidemic around drug use in the United States history, there are three things that come together: price, availability, and effect.
Kinsley says these types of overdoses aren't recorded because most deaths don't involve toxicology.
What's in people's toxicologies and what's killing people. Because if you looked at the numbers in Texas, you would think we didn't have a problem. We have a huge problem.
The rationale being, as we've articulated,
Senator Royce West has taken the lead in tackling the opioid problem in Texas. He's not surprised that fentanyl is being abused. Is there something more that could be done?
well, we will continue to look at what the latest best practices are and decide whether or not we need to do some other things, later on in the next legislative session.
And after we shared this family story with the senator, he says he wants to learn more.
Condolences for the death of a loved one, especially a child.
Cash heaven now.
Even in the 56 days after Cash's death, the pain is still raw.
I just cannot,
Say bye, Cash. We're leaving.
I can't just let it go away and just grieve in silence. Like, I'm grieving, but I'm grieving, screaming, raging, because this did not have to happen, and it shouldn't have happened.
JC says treatment for her son didn't work. She wants to see lawmakers do more, including putting at least a 72-hour hold on overdose patients at hospitals. She says that's where withdrawal symptoms also need to be treated instead of quickly releasing the patient back out. JC's also pushing for stiffer penalties for anybody dealing fentanyl. And right now, Shannon, she is considering a civil suit against those responsible for her son's death.
And Arzo, we know there is actually a law that says overdoses need to be reported.
Well, Shannon, that's right. And that information is supposed to go to poison control. But there's no penalty in the law for hospitals and clinics that don't comply. We've also learned that in Travis County, the health department and hospitals do not record fentanyl-related overdoses and deaths.
Arzo, thank you very much. We also learned the medical examiner's office does keep records, but does not actively track the trend in fentanyl-related deaths. We have been looking at the last 8 months of records, though, and so far we have identified 7 of those deaths. The Austin Police Department issued a warning last year after a spike in fentanyl overdoses. 2 graduates from the same high school where Cash attended, Westlake High School, were found dead after investigators say they took the drug. The dealer who admitted to selling them fentanyl was sentenced to 14 years. Take a look at this story online right now, where we will show you the breakdown of fentanyl exposures in the state, the increasing trend with this dangerous drug. It's in the investigative section of KXAN.com.